Baddies, this episode is brought to you by M3 is 3D.
That's right. M3 is 3D is a company that makes 3D printed figurines, much like these heads that hold our beautiful headphones. They also make Dungeons and Dragons figures, dice organizers, all the things to make your nerd life easier.
This one is specifically a Sauron 3D printed graphic head, and I love it so much because I'm such a Lord of the Rings nerd. So
And this is an alien.
yeah, so check out m3is3d.com. Use promo code icbtb
for 10% off at checkout.
Yep. And yeah,
that's
enjoy.
it, guys. We got a sponsor, believe it or not.
Yeah, enjoy the show.
It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
Happy 2-year anniversary.
And the same to you.
It is
God be with you.
today. Today is our 2-year anniversary,
July
Baddies.
1st.
July 1st. Thank you for
Thank you.
sticking around and listening and supporting.
Honestly, the biggest thank you to somebody who was there on the very first second of ICBTB and is here in the current second of ICBTB. Big shout out, Alan Boo, our producer over there.
Alan Boo, our
What's going on,
producer.
Baddies?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's been there from the first second to the last, and this is our last.
Nope, he's going to be here for many more seconds. He already
kidding.
committed. He said he's going to be here for
right.
future episodes.
We do have a contract. Congratulations, rightly so, Christian.
Hey.
Happy 2 years.
And right back at you, dude.
Thank you,
Happy more than 700 days of doing this podcast thing. We're still here and we're still doing it, and it's getting better and better.
I want to say, for those who don't know, this is our anniversary because at the time we were on an improv team doing live shows back in 2019.
Yeah.
And about midway through June, we were taking bows, and I said to everybody, hey, don't forget to check out our podcast. It'll be out July 1st.
And I looked at him immediately and I was like, we didn't talk.
Nope.
Didn't talk about this.
Hadn't gone
July
over
1st?
it. We had yet to record our first episode, or good
Successfully,
episode.
yeah.
But you know what, guys? The best way to make it work is when your back's against the wall.
That's how you do it. You got to set a deadline. Yeah. And dude, I'm so happy.
Great day.
I love both of you. And here we are doing a fantastic, quote unquote, bad movie because, yes, it's crazy silly, but it's a tentpole.
It's a tentpole for us. It's incredibly funny. I did not realize how many lines of these I still quote to this day, 20 years later.
And like, this is one of
Jokes
those
still hold.
movies where now I'm watching it older and I'm understanding more of like the subtle, risque jokes that I didn't understand before.
To that point, recently I watched the first Shrek.
And there's a bunch of subtleties.
It's
in there.
incredibly funny. It's really fucking
I
funny.
want to watch it again.
Shrek 2 gets a little like childish, but it's still good for both people.
Yeah.
But like Shrek 1 is straight up for adults.
Oh, yes, there's a lot. Well, Shrek 1 is the one where the ending song after the credits is Like a Virgin, right? By Madonna.
Is it?
I think so.
I know I Need a Hero is how they end Shrek 2. That's the only one I remember.
It's possible, but this
But
one
this
for
isn't
sure.
about, we're not talking about Shrek.
We're talking about Zoolander.
We're talking about
Zoolander.
And not only are we talking about Zoolander, but sorry, Jules, but for the first time, I'm actually proud to say that I have somebody else here who's doing the itty bitty nitty gritty, because I think he's actually going to do an incredible justice to the system.
Yes.
And so please, our producer, I hand the torch to you. It pleases the court. Please provide us with the itty bitty nitty gritty committee.
I got you guys. So I'm about to announce the movie info from Rotten Tomatoes. As copyright, everything. I just want to mention that. So here it goes. So,
Now we got you legally, motherfuckers.
So propelled to the top of the fashion world by photogenic gaze he calls blue steel. Dim-witted male model Derek Zoolander, aka Ben Stiller, thinks he's got a 4th consecutive win as a male model of the year in the bag. But when his rival, Hansel, Owen Wilson, unexpectedly takes the crown, Derek is crushed. He becomes easy prey for fashion designer Mugatu, aka Will Ferrell, who signs Derek to star in the Derelicti fashion show, then brainwashes him to kill Malaysia's prime minister. That's fucking crazy, dude.
yeah, dude.
That's fucking crazy.
This film is not allowed in Malaysia.
I'm not
it's
sure.
banned.
It's banned. It's legally.
banned.
You're not allowed to even
To think
say
about
the word Zoolander.
I mean, because look at the plot. Look at how it opened up. It was so political right from the get-go about the
Yeah.
prime minister of Malaysia, and then boom, assassinate him. What the heck?
I forgot how intense the first 20 minutes of this film is, because I tend to remember from when he retires from modeling.
Yeah.
And from that part of the movie on, like I have that pretty good to go in the back of my eyelids. But I forgot about the gasoline fight. And I forgot about the like opening political statements. Like it's super intense. Like I forget that right off the bat, they say we're going to make Zoolander into a murderer. Like it's all about him becoming a hitman.
You know, because
I thought that was an accident.
Watching
You know what
this
I mean?
as like a kid, because I owned the DVD, and this right along with like Nacho Libre and right along with like Roxbury were the movies I just always played over and over, like in the background or like right when I wake up. This is what I wanted to watch. And so I didn't understand why they wanted to assassinate the Prime Minister of Malaysia, because I didn't understand like, oh, because of
because they want child labor.
they want child labor, and they, you know, raising minimum wage and making sure that there's labor laws. They're not going to make as much money because it's going to be more expensive to like manufacture these.
Such a
these
fucking
things.
nuanced like joke, such an intense joke that you're right. As children, we wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
I thought the joke was like, we're gonna kill prime minister and like let's pick a funny country, Malaysia. That's what I always thought the joke was.
Micronesia.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Owen Wilson calling it Micronesia.
Oh, yeah.
What?
They were like in the office or something, and then he was just like Micronesia.
He says like, no.
Was it?
He invites Derek Zoolander and Matilda into his home where there's a skateboard ramp, and Owen Wilson says, "Yo guys, this is Derek and Matilda. Derek's recently been brainwashed into becoming an assassin that's going to kill the
Prime
president
Minister.
of
Yeah.
Micronesia." I was like, "What?
And all the models are like,
Cool."
we recently learned something right before we turned the mics on.
What?
But in that gasoline fight,
Jeez, it's Alexander Skarsgård,
AKA,
Mikas,
AKA,
Tarzan.
AKA.
Who else? Who else?
I don't know. I was hoping you.
There's a lot more stuff.
He's an incredibly.
That was his first film.
Yes,
that was
yes.
his first film.
This was not just his first film, but he looks like a child.
He doesn't look like him.
No,
Right.
and he's doing in a very thick German accent.
Yeah.
Unrecognizable.
Oh, he was in Kong versus Godzilla.
That's what it was.
Boom.
He's Kong.
Okay, there's more to the itty bitty nitty gritty, like the ratings and
Yes,
all
I'm
that
sorry.
stuff.
I get
So,
distracted.
producer Alan Boo, please
So
continue.
yeah, so on Rotten Tomatoes, we got 63%. Critics, obviously, and then audience, 80%, which isn't too bad.
That makes sense.
That makes
isn't
sense.
too bad. Came out September 20th, 2001, so 20 years about.
Wow.
And then box office, 45.2 million.
I did see though the total cumulative gross. So first of all, this film made over $15 million in just the U.S. first weekend alone.
And this is back in the early 2000s.
2001.
So it's different.
And then total, Alan, $60 million grossed, I think,
Yeah.
in total, which is unbelievable because this film is a fairly cheaply made comedy. Like, I bet they paid quite a bit to get all those faces in there.
The cameos,
But
yeah.
they didn't pay a lot for CGI. They didn't pay a lot for, the writing. Like, I think they did this all
Dude,
really
I bet
cheap.
you a lot of those cameos, though, they did for free. Like the ones
That's
on...
generally how
Yeah,
cameos
yeah.
go.
Yeah, so...
There was like a red carpet for like VH1 or something, and they're like,
hey, can you do this for the upcoming Ben Stiller film?
yes, that's exactly how I saw it. As like, hey, will you say this? And then like people were like, no, or some people were yes, and some people were really into it. Like 45th President Donald Trump, who was honestly, and I hate to give this man credit for almost anything, best acting he's ever done. This is far better than Home Alone 2.
Yeah, because it's just him, like... There's not much of a script.
No, but he does like he does come back later on, and he's like, modeling wouldn't be the same without Derek Zoolander. Like he has a little bit more to say, and it's just like, oh, I don't think Donald knew this was a joke. I think he maybe thought he was talking about a real model.
Yeah, and he was just pretending to know this real model.
He doesn't want to seem stupid not knowing it.
Yeah.
And Melania is also in it, and let's not discredit Melania. She was a Playboy cover model. So let's give her the
Then
credit she deserves.
turned first lady. Crazy. But there's a list of cameos.
Huge list.
A huge list of cameos, which surprised me. Now that I'm older, like I know who a lot more of these people are.
And I will say right off the bat, the first cameo that I completely forgot about and was like screaming my head off seeing it as an adult, David Bowie.
David
Yes!
motherfucking Bowie.
Crazy.
Real David Bowie.
What were you telling us about David Bowie?
So apparently Ben Stiller was writing the script and he wrote David Bowie in that scene, but he never asked David Bowie yet. And I guess apparently he just was like, yeah, I'll come in.
I'll do it, yeah.
It
You
was
disagree?
list.
So would it have been someone playing, or he would have just swapped it?
He probably
would
would have swapped it, but
Yeah, if
he
you could have
wanted
got,
David
yeah,
Bowie.
I'm sure if you would have gotten,
anyone.
yeah, Mick Jagger, it would have been now a Mick Jagger joke.
I mean, they were able to even all of the brands were real brands.
Well, yeah, and in 2001, a lot of those brands weren't million / billion. Oh, they might have been $1 million, but they weren't $1 billion companies that they are now. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the clothes and stuff that he's wearing, like they make straight up jokes of Versace. What's her name? Donatella Versace is straight up in this movie.
Crazy, yeah.
And like Versace would never put their name on it in a comedy like this.
But I guess maybe Ben Stiller was pretty
Very, very
popular
yes.
during this, especially with his father, Christine Taylor, who was his wife at the time.
Yep.
And yes, you said his father, Jerry Stiller's in this. This is post Ben Stiller show. This is post Along Came Polly.
I'm not sure about that.
This is for sure. I do want to say Zoolander is what made Ben Stiller the household name. At least in my house.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I haven't seen the sequel yet. I
actually haven't. In fact, yeah, I was actually going to bring that up a little bit later. Do we, because we love Zoolander so much, just not watch Zoolander 2?
I think I'm going to check it out to just see what it is. It's a clear cash grab. I mean, like, how... What?
I bet it's worth watching the second film because we like the franchise. I think we can skip the animated series.
There's an animated Zoolander series? Stop. Don't play with my emotions like that. And if there is it at least voiced by Ben Stiller still?
It is.
Okay, at least that. Okay.
And I think Nick Kroll is in it also.
I believe that.
Yeah.
You know, it's stuff like, sidebar, real quick. It's like Jackie Chan Adventures. I don't think Jackie Chan voiced Jackie Chan.
No,
because he can't.
He didn't.
He doesn't speak that well.
Just like the Beatles in Yellow Submarine. That's not the Beatles' voice.
Gosh, man.
Yeah, that's right. It's the Bee Gees. Which is
so...
like a whole weird choice.
Wait, what?
It's straight up the Bee Gees.
That voiced?
The Beatles in Yellow Submarine.
That's to swap them with another extremely popular European band?
The Bee Gees are American.
No, fuck out of here.
The Bee Gees, Barry Gibb.
Are they really American?
Yeah, bro. Disco's an American thing.
I could have sworn.
You are adding an accent to how you're singing it, just so you know. Yeah, you've sung that song incredibly well, but with an accent. That's not how the song is sung. You did a good job, though. I do. Let's get back to fucking. What are we watching? Dragon Ball Z? Oh, that's right.
Okay, what else do you have to say, Alan?
Can we
Cameos, right?
Cameos. Before we get to Cameos, I did not look at the Google users who approve of this film. Did you?
Nope.
I just want to guess that real quick before we get to the cameos because that's gonna lead us into a bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
I think Google users rated this film at least 86%.
I'm gonna say 90%.
Looking for it,
Mr. Boo. Google, and this is just a note for Mr. Google, the guy who's in charge of Google. You've changed the front page of films when we type it into you, and that's ruining our show.
The user interface of Google is different now.
So you know. Either stop or tell us when you're going to change Google. So, I don't like the changes.
Did you find it?
I see a 4.0. I don't see a percentage. So I don't know if that's different.
I don't know.
Let me see. May I? I don't want to take it.
82%
so
like the movie.
There we go. 82%.
82? Okay, so you win. You were closer to it.
Closest to the pin.
Okay. All right, let's get to the list of the cameos. That's so low, by the way. That's so low for like...
A movie that everybody quotes.
I understand this movie's stupid, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're supposed to like it if you like stupid shit like this. Done well. Okay.
So cameos, we got Lance Bass, Dyson Beckford, Victoria Beckham, Emma Bunton.
Emily Bunton.
Yep. Fabio, Tom Ford.
Yeah,
Fabio.
I have Fabio's autograph, by the way.
You do?
I have Fabio's autograph.
I feel like you've told me that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yep.
Lucas Haas.
Yep.
Theo Kogan. Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heidi Klum, Lenny Kravitz.
Yes.
This is a very long list, man. Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
Yes.
young Natalie Portman.
Yeah. Winona Ryder.
Yes!
I didn't notice that.
Winona Ryder was at that club with Zoolander saying, like, I found it so brave that even though after you lost, you still made a return.
Yeah.
Like, she was crushing it.
Because
Cute
after she
Winona
lost,
Ryder.
she made a return.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yes.
Hit us.
Yeah, Frankie Rader, Mark Ronson, Gavin Rossdale, Gary Shandling.
Gary Shandling, yes,
Yeah.
he's one of the pop-ups, right? It's like Fred Durst, and then Gary Shandling's one of the pop-ups.
Lance Bass.
Lance Bass, Fred Durst,
During
and then,
the
like,
walkway
and then
scene.
Gary Shandling is one of the pop-ups to like distract him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christian Slater.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes!
I was so hyped when I saw him.
On the
dude.
red carpet,
Christian
too.
Slater and David Duchovny's in this film
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
X-Files.
Oh, the hand model?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was,
So-
his character name was like JP something.
J.P.
Yeah.
Hewitt, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I physically bumped into David Duchovny in New York City. My first time in New York, he was coming out of this building. I think it was David Duchovny because I physically bumped into him. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. He was wearing a hat and some very nondescript clothes. And then we walked by and I turned to the girl who I was with and I was like, was that David Duchovny? And she looks at me and she goes, I don't know who that is. And
that's where the conversation ended.
yes, but it was 100% David Duchovny.
That's great, dude.
Yes.
X-Files scared the shit out of me, man.
Californication made me
Yes.
super horny.
Oh, all the beautiful in that show.
The boobs in the first season. Not a lot of boobs in the second season. I'm sorry. Alan, the cameos?
Yep. Gwen Stefani,
Yep.
Donald
Trump, Melania Trump,
Yes.
Donatella Versace,
That's right.
Yep.
Veronica Webb, and James Marsden.
James Marsden.
Yes.
I believe his name is Cyclops.
Cyclops, better known as Cyclops, or if you're watching Dead to Me, really good show on Netflix. Check
Yes.
that out. He's on there. Yeah.
He's James Marsden's come up quite a bit on our show. He was also in The Notebook, and he's in Peter Cottontail.
Well, it's because he's just a great comedic actor in a lot of these comedies.
He's a really good actor.
In
Period.
general, yeah.
Period.
Very good looking guy. Well, let's get into it. Zoolander.
I thought we were going to get into James Marsden.
Well, let's get into how
James Marsden. James
good looking
Marsden,
he is.
born in North Carolina in 1978. No, but Zoolander. So the film is about a know-nothing, dim-witted. I mean, everybody know. I don't know why I'm trying to explain it to them. They know what Zoolander
You guys,
is.
if you're
Can we
watching
just-
this episode,
You didn't have to rewatch it. You're just enjoying Zoolander.
let's talk about our favorite parts. That's what this episode's going to be. Let's sit back, relax. This movie's a dumb, good movie.
I want to talk about the first part of the gasoline fight. When they're dipping the squeegees into the water and splashing each other with it.
all
Isn't that
stupid.
such how a perfume commercial or a guy's cologne commercial or a Ralph Lauren polo commercial? It's they're always doing this why is he diving off a cliff?
They're all doing
In a
crazy
suit.
things.
Why is he doing it? And so this movie hit the ridiculousness of the fashion industry in 2000 on the nose so hard
Yes.
that they had to make hipsters popular, and they even hit that on the nose in this film.
That made me even though I watched this as a kid, I always knew that's dirty. I understand you're trying to look sexy and fun as male models, but people are cleaning their dirty ass cars, gas stations in general, dirty as fuck. And they're wetting each other with the wipers.
And the whole derelict line is it's straight trash. And I don't mean that like Shamarky. It's actually trash.
It's literal trash, man. They're
And isn't that kind of a look now? I think there was a good phase between 2009 to maybe 2016 of gas station attendant was the hottest man you could have.
I don't understand, and I'm not knocking it at all, but high-end fashion, it's
Very close to disgusting.
it's just so it's art is subjective. But no one's gonna go outside wearing a trash bag. That's just gonna remind me of my mom when she used to do Thai bow because wearing a trash bag will make you sweat more. But that's what derelict is.
Extremely specific.
Yeah,
extremely Pacific. No, I do think it's very interesting though that we live in a time where fashion is so mocked yet is still very silly. You ever see a fashion show, they're wearing ridiculous stuff, and then by the time that's boiled down to the general public like us, it's the color cyan. It's from the 2014, Fendi Prada line and you're just that's all they got from this is the color cyan. That's all it takes to be in fashion. I can just make shit up then.
The moment anyone talks to me and they get a little too specific with colors, I tune out.
Oh, that's a woman.
Not all a woman talking about interior design.
Generally, men don't. It's a fact. Men don't see as many colors as women.
So you didn't remember that gasoline fight,
No.
which is because the moment that he pulls the gasoline out of the tank and starts spraying everyone, how does no one gag at the smell of gasoline?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a comedy. You know why?
Yeah.
You know why I don't remember this gasoline fight?
What?
Because I get it confused with the Romeo and Juliet gasoline fight.
They have a gasoline fight in that too.
Remember in the beginning, the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo
I guess
and Juliet?
I don't remember that.
There's
yeah.
a whole shootout in a gas station, and so watching this, I was like, Where's
have I
Leonardo
seen this
DiCaprio? Yeah,
before?
why do I know this so well? Why is this not as dramatic as I thought it was?
I will say with that funny scene, I wish there was a spin-off series of just them four.
I would love to see how they lived in New York as models.
Yeah,
They
prior
didn't,
to everything.
They didn't spend enough time on those male models. And
No, that's the best joke is how deeply they set up these are his friends forever. And then in the next scene, dead.
Oh, they get so excited about red macchiatos
No.
or frappuccinos.
Orange peel, cappa. I don't even know.
Frappuccinos or something like
I
that.
don't even know.
They got so excited they turned into a music video, sitting dangerously on their convertible
open-top
Jeep.
Jeep.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
And like, oh my gosh, how are you guys not getting pulled over?
Which an open top Jeep in like Midtown New York is maybe the worst car to have. You know what I mean? Like you're just breathing in fumes. It's too big to park.
I'm surprised they didn't die before getting to the gasoline station.
Or yeah, I mean it's impossible how
They died from a fucking fire
because he lights a cigarette. He does the over the shoulder look like a cigarette, which did look cool, and then everything explodes.
Isn't it interesting that Zoolander is the smartest of the four to recognize, oh, that's a no-no.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he noticed that you're about to light a cigarette and it's gonna blow up.
In slow motion. He's just like,
So
never
he's
caught
definitely
that.
the
I
alpha
never
there.
caught that.
So he has a level
He's
of
the
intelligence.
smartest model.
No, because Hansel is smarter. Who's smarter, guys?
No, Hansel, you're right. You're 100% right.
Hansel's smarter.
Hansel.
Can we talk about Hansel for a little bit?
Owen Wilson is impactful
Phenomenal.
in this film.
This is one of his best roles, and he's playing Matthew McConaughey. In fact,
He
I think
legitimately says,
I think his first line is, all right, all right, all right.
okay.
He's legitimate, and he's got the cowboy hat and the abs. He's legitimately playing Matthew McConaughey.
I used to think it was so cool that he would whip out a scooter. Oh, and it would not hit anyone in the face because he's whipping out that scooter.
Or shins.
He spins it. He spins it too. He's
Yeah.
like,
He like collapses it like a ninja.
Only in population dense areas he's doing this at parties on the red carpet and no one's getting hit. And he has that yo-yo. I like how they throw that in too.
For like only 30 seconds.
Well, because it was kind of like they're trying to foreshadow that this is going to save the day later.
That's right.
When I pull the gun away.
I forgot that he has a yo-yo when he's first introduced.
Yes.
I thought it literally was him just pulling it out at the end.
I love his character. Owen Wilson is just
Hansel.
phenomenal. Hansel.
Hansel McDonald.
Is that his last name in
His
this?
last name is McDonald.
Oh my god.
you want to know something though?
Hit us.
Apparently, Owen Wilson, he was wearing a wig the whole movie.
That's not his hair?
Do you know why?
Why?
Was it
Because he
short
was-
because he was filming Shanghai Noon?
No. Close.
Shanghai
Not
Nights.
close, but behind enemy lines.
Oh!
Yeah, they were filming at the same time, so he had to wear a wig just for Zoolander.
Two completely different
Have you ever
films.
him in Behind Enemy Lines is super intense.
He's great.
Shoots
Yeah.
a bunch of guns. You know who else is in? I think it's Behind Enemy. Maybe it's Black Hawk Down. The dad from Modern Family.
Yeah.
Is like one of the medics in the helicopter putting. Oh, it is Behind Enemy Lines. He's putting it into Owen Wilson's like arm. He's putting the IV in, and it's like that's Phil Dunphy.
That's who
Like,
that is.
Why did they give him the IV?
It's it just shows his versatility as an actor.
I think it just shows how comedians will take any role to be famous.
You think Owen Wilson did that? I don't.
No. I'm talking about Ty Pennington.
Oh, okay,
in
that's what I was gonna
No,
say.
by this time Owen Wilson was very famous and fairly popular.
Already, he and Ben Stiller in like multiple movies together. Vince Vaughn is that
So the Vince Vaughn cameo is one of the ones where like I literally was confused at first because he says no lines.
He doesn't say anything.
He is just in the background as Ben Stiller's older brother, and it's so silly that it's like, oh, that's not actually Vince Vaughn because real Vince Vaughn would say
Talk
something,
up a storm.
a little anything, even one word, so we know it's Vince Vaughn. Literally says nothing,
that was him, and I loved it. I forgot that he was the brother.
and that his dad's John Voight.
John Voight, and
is his dad.
it is insane.
John Voight's doing no acting, by the way. That is John Voight.
Yeah.
On
Which
John-
is
just him. That was
already really good acting. Arguably, the best acting in the film is John Voight saying that he's not proud of Derek Zoolander.
That's a conversation he literally had with Angelina Jolie.
Oh,
Too real,
dude.
Shit.
She did great.
Maybe don't wear a vial of someone else's blood, Angelina. How about that?
You know, she was trying to go in the artistic direction.
Oh man, that's a very niche '90s joke for anybody out there.
What movie was that from?
That was just her and Billy Bob Thornton being a gross couple.
Oh, that's right. They were together. Dude, I love all of the cameos in this. I was laughing out loud at so many moments. My favorite scene in particular was when Hansel finally invites them to their place and they start drinking the tea that he got from, I think, the Himalayan mountains or some shit.
Something like that. Yeah.
And so they're all drinking in there. And
And it's peyote, right?
I think it's peyote.
peyote.
It's fucking them up. And Christine Taylor, Matilda, is opening up to them about why she hates male models. And she's saying, like, it's because you guys are all narcissistic. You guys are so vain and you guys are dim-witted. And Owen Wilson has this comeback saying, yeah, but what about male models? And goes for like a high five with Derek Zoolander.
Yeah.
And then
he's great. My favorite part about like his place where he lives is because it's got like the half pipe and stuff like that.
that they have to walk through.
This is another weird reference, but do you guys remember the episode of The Simpsons when Bart sues Homer and Marge and gets to like emancipate himself?
No.
No,
And
I
lives
don't
on his own?
remember that. No.
Because that's Bart's apartment with the
Like
half
that.
pipe and like living in there and shit like that. Like every time from the moment I watched this movie, I remember being like, that's Bart Simpson's apartment. Like that's exactly Bart Simpson's
That place
apartment.
looked like a level in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Well, Tony Hawk is in Bart Simpson's apartment. He's the one who teaches us.
Oh, I believe that completely.
Yeah. So if this movie was made literally 2 years later, Tony Hawk would have been in that scene. Right?
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he wasn't.
Because they were trying to go scooter with it? I don't know what they were trying to do.
I just love that scooter so much. I'm surprised that was a wig.
Favorite line? Because I would love to talk about my absolute favorite line that I quote maybe once a month ever.
I got the black lung, Papa.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my favorite
maybe
line.
my second quoted line that I thought. The black lung quote is an incredibly
I
funny
got
quote.
the black lung, Papa.
My favorite line is, the files are inside the computer.
He's like holding the whole Apple mag.
That literally happened to me the other day. I was helping somebody build a new furniture set, and the feet of the furniture were inside the couch, and it had a big sign that said hardware inside the couch. And she goes, hardware inside the couch? And I go, yeah, right here. And like pulled it right out, but like the confusion, I was like, I legitimately saw this as a joke, and this is happening for real right in front of me. This is real time.
Perfect.
Idiot. It's incredible.
Oh, I love when they're slapping the old iMac like
oh yeah,
cavemen.
like, yeah.
So, do you have a favorite line, Alan?
I don't know if there was like a part where like the tea part, right?
Yes,
like,
yes, yes,
Matilda
yes,
was
the
like talking to
peyote.
them, and then
My favorite scene.
she was like, I became, and then Hansel was like, what? Bulimic. You can read minds.
I thought that was so funny. Oh my god.
So many great like the other line that I always think about all the time is just you have to kill the Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Oh my, Will Ferrell is ridiculous in this.
Sidebar, his first or second outfit when it says Mugatu around and he's wearing like a corset.
Yes.
That's legitimately something a mumble rapper would wear right now.
Yes, with some like red dreads.
It would say Little Uzi Vert and he would be wearing a leather corset and people would be like redoing fashion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This movie is so far comical that it is somehow also incredibly on the nose. Mm-hmm. You know how like it's somehow the parody is so outlandish that it's actually far more correct than like if you were to
Well,
actually
because
talk
that's
about
what
it.
like parodies and farces are making fun of truths, is what it is.
Parodies
right?
are protected by the First Amendment.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
why we.
That's why George Washington was the first stand-up comedian. That's a fact.
What else do you like? What other favorite scenes?
This
do you
film
got?
reminds me of such a quintessential 2001 film, from the thought of how phones are only going to get smaller and smaller and smaller to the fact that they're 2 inches big.
Alan was like, before we recorded, he was asking about that, and I think it's like a tip of the hat to the SNL
Yes.
skit, right?
Yes,
okay.
the Will Ferrell
Yeah,
SNL
yeah.
skit.
Yeah, well, Will Ferrell is a manager at a high-end fashion store.
Yeah.
And he says, 1 second, I've got a call. And
He also has a pager at one point too, doesn't he?
things are so small. The phone in this movie is so small, the only thing it could say is call.
Yeah.
And you don't know who's calling.
He's like, hello. But like it's like away from his ears.
Hello.
And Matilda's saying, I thought you're supposed to turn off your phone so he couldn't get tracked. And he was like, what are you talking about? Me turning off my phone? What are you even talking about? The way that Hansel and Derek Zoolander team up against Matilda, perfect duo.
Because you would expect them to not be friends, but they're just immediately best friends.
There's something so beautiful about that common trope that gets me every single time of enemies becoming friends and having changes of heart.
It's like us.
It's I guess so, yeah. Yes, that's beautiful. I'll give you that.
Thanks. Yes,
But-
and guys, that's your improv lesson for the week.
When they were saying, what do you call it? When they're making up, when they were saying like, I'm sorry, I was so whack.
I was way out of line.
I was so whack.
You know what, man? That was super whack for me to be that
so
way.
whack.
I love your modeling. I love your looks.
Your 1995 winter catalog is the reason why I became a model. Beautiful, dude.
Hansel is my favorite. Honestly, this might be the movie why I fell in love with Owen Wilson, because he does no wrong, except for that one film that was about like Beirut or something like that. That one
I don't think more recent one.
super intense, very scary. He throws a child off the roof onto another building. I should finish that. He throws a child onto another building to save them, and she lives. I mean, I'm at a loss of words, only because this movie is such a fucking perfect comedy.
Yeah.
It's so stupid and ridiculous. Like I oddly enough, just a couple days ago, I was hanging out with Otis, and he brought up Zoolander, and I checked up the numbers, and it was the numbers that we said, 60s, 40s. It's a low-rated film. But I was telling him, I was like, like it's so weird to me because we love this film. People love that film. It's one of the films that's going to be on our show, and people are going to be like, oh, that film's rated poorly. I like Zoolander. And it's going to be like, everybody loves Zoolander.
Yeah.
But watch it again after a few years, and you realize how if somebody didn't like Ben Stiller, or if they weren't happy and they watched the movie, they'd be like, this is the single dumbest thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Yeah.
And it is.
I know that. What?
It's fucking perfect.
It has a place in my heart. Like I said, it was one of those DVDs that collected. No, I'm not even gonna say collected dust. It never did because I was always using it, and so it means something to me. I don't know if I could say the same if I were to never see it. Might be like just a dumb, funny film.
I don't know anybody who's never seen Zoolander.
Everyone's seen it at least once. Alan, you've seen it a bunch of times?
I've seen it multiple times, man.
If we have any Gen Z listeners and you haven't seen Zoolander, please watch it and let us know what your immediate reactions are.
Alan, you were saying that watching it again, this isn't your favorite movie, right?
No, it's not my favorite.
Like, where do you kind of like, on a scale of 1 to 5, where do you think it would be?
Like 3.5. Like
okay.
7 out of 10,
What didn't you like about it? Is it just a little too wacky, a little too
Sometimes
silly?
a little too silly for me. That's just my taste. And then again, it goes back to like our taste of like movies, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like us, we love Nacho Libre. I know Alex, you don't.
I'm
right?
okay with it.
You're okay
I'm
with
okay
it, but
with
it's
it,
like
yes.
we love that movie.
You guys,
but it's a matter of taste. So that's what I was kind of discussing with Christian earlier.
Yeah.
It's just like it really depends on like your mood and like what you just want to watch at that time. So
I think a 3.5 is a solid rating. I do, because like I said, it is a funny movie. It's very silly, and it has tentpoles in comedy like Jerry Stiller and Ben Stiller, and then it's got cameos that are like so 2001 cameos. I mean, it just makes you feel good. It makes me, remember the past.
It's nostalgia.
That's the word I'm looking for. Nostalgia.
You have a bunch of notes. Alan came super prepared.
Alan has so many notes
as our producer.
You're prepared to publish this into a book now, right? Zoolander literary
The
series?
reason why I wrote these notes is just in case like we kind of lose track of things. Like if we forgot a scene, then I'll mention it. So
we've forgotten so many scenes, and we've gotten
lay it on us, bro.
Lost a bunch.
What did you think about like the whole like coal mining thing? Like he goes back. I know we talked about the bar scene, but like he comes in, he's like trying to act like a model in front of all those guys, like these men, and it's like
such a good joke. Did he walk to his hometown? Because he was walking in full snakeskin.
He had like a suit or something. I don't know what that was, but like.
Yes, it was a suit and a suit bag, and he was walking in like a full snakeskin 3-piece suit.
The absolute best is when he puts all the black makeup on and he scares his dad, right? And then the next scene is him in the bathroom wiping it off, and the trash can full of like cotton balls, like just a million cotton balls. That is one of my favorite jokes in the entire film.
He should have just taken a shower. They have a very specific head shape and haircut. His family.
Yeah.
It's
I'm sorry, my hair looks better done up with gel and not, or hair gel and mousse and not just coal dust.
It's like every single joke of him apologizing for like, it's so hard to be really, 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 really.
I'm sorry you're not as pretty as me.
Yeah.
I make apologies like that. I'm sorry you got hurt by that, but I was truly saying my feelings.
I finally love though when that kind of vanity that he has helps someone else, like with Matilda when she comes over and right before she leaves, he says, "You shouldn't put your hair in a ponytail like that because it pulls on your scalp and it's bad for your collagen on your skin. You should actually do it like this."
Yeah.
And then cuts back to her and her hair is down and she's like weirdly attracted to him.
Well, because he fixed her.
Mm-hmm. But did she even need to be fixed is the thing.
Well, that's romantic comedies, bro. Christian,
What's up?
what would you rate this film?
4 out of 5.
Really?
Yeah, that
Just got to one up us over here.
it's
Okay.
just not my favorite. It's just not my favorite, but I think it for what it's meant to be, it's really, really, really good. Really, really, really good.
Really good. I think this is honestly, truly one of Ben Stiller's best. It is his most extreme, and it is like the most character-y character of Ben Stiller that we get.
Yeah.
But it's a great Ben Stiller film. Like this. I would watch this and Meet the Parents
Ooh.
and Along Came Polly.
Yeah.
I'd do a triple film night. I'd do a Ben Stiller night of those three. No questions asked.
I've heard that Ben Stiller, though, from various folks.
Yeah, I hear off camera he's not the best.
Yeah, and it's because he
Will
grew
Ferrell too.
up.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
heard some stuff about that.
You know
too.
what I think it is?
What?
People who and Terry Crews, and I have a side thing with Terry Crews, but like people who are so awesome and lovable on camera, I think use up all of their lovableness on screen. So when they're no longer on screen, they don't have any more lovableness to show. And I don't blame them because they're definitely putting it to a good use so we can get entertainment on the film. But yeah, man, maybe just like shake hands with people or take a photo with a kid who's got cancer.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, of course. Yes, do that. But also, you're put on this pedestal.
Yeah.
To always be that. And if Will Ferrell's not always Ron Burgundy on the streets,
Correct.
then he's only a douche, right?
Yep.
And also think about the scenarios in which people like them are caught with cameras up in their face all the time.
Yes, sir.
Ben Stiller, from what I've heard, is a little different of a scenario where I've heard that even without all of that, he's still kind of douchey. But
Yes,
given with being Jerry Stiller's son and having grown up under fame and attention,
And then it's one thing to grow up under fame and attention and have such a high bar set for you.
yeah,
And I will say, without a shadow of a doubt, to reach the level that Jerry Stiller had as comedian, Ben Stiller surpassed that. Ben Stiller took Jerry Stiller's comedic incredible run and lifetime as a comedian and doubled it and made his own career just as big, if not bigger, than Jerry. Yeah. And will be a tentpole in comedy. I mean, when Jerry passed away last year
from COVID, yeah.
It was a big deal for the comedy, crew, because Jerry Stiller's albums are up there with like Mel Brooks's albums. They're up there with the original George Carlin albums, or even Lenny Bruce's albums. Like these are
He's a legend.
Comedians, who do stuff that just can't be done again. And Ben Stiller didn't try and do the Jerry Stiller joke again. He did the Ben Stiller joke with Jerry Stiller to show you that it is actually funny. So people like our parents or people who are older than us, that's why I think Ben Stiller has such a stay across generations. It's because he understands comedy 3, 4, 5 generations. I hope he can sustain it. But I mean, when's the last time you heard Ben Stiller? When's the last time you heard about Ben Stiller? Last time you been Walter Mitty?
Probably that, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Which was good, but not funny.
Well,
at
it's
all.
the whole predicament of separating the art from the artist,
yeah.
right? I adore him on screen. I've never met the guy, but I've heard stories from people that I trust.
Sure.
That he's just not the best.
I'm the same way with Matthew Broderick.
Why is that?
Yeah, I don't. I love him on screen, but.
And you don't trust him off screen? Is this like just you coming up with this, or is this from like a...
I think plenty of people feel the same way.
Okay. I mean, what are your sources?
Well, he murdered that person in his car.
Holy shit, yeah.
He for
talk
sure.
To me about
he
this
definitely
before.
killed that dude.
Okay.
And then just like got away with it because he's famous.
And that sucks. That's
exists. Shitty, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I want to talk a little bit more about Zoolander. This is getting a little morbid. I know Alan has a bunch of notes on his laptop.
You mean I can't derail this about an unknown Irishman who got killed?
Yeah, let's probably save it for later. For some, when the cameras are off.
Honestly, my condolences to Martin Scorsese.
So yeah, what else you got on there, Alan?
So I guess like one of the scenes, because my notes is like chronological kind
Yeah.
of. Like,
Okay,
throughout
hit
the
us.
movie. So when Zoolander first meets Mugatu,
Uh-huh.
and then he's like offering him that like children's center, like the
What
the
is this, a
blueprint.
reading center
Have
for
we not
ants?
talked about that?
This
This
center
used
for
to be
ants.
3 times the size.
And then picks it up and throws it on the ground.
Mugatu's looking at Todd, his like assistant, and they're like, "Just go with it. Just go with it.
It needs to be bigger.
Needs to be bigger."
This is Todd after being poured a cappuccino, a foamy latte on, and holding a dog. Mm-hmm. Poor Todd.
Poor Todd.
Todd's got the hardest life.
But Todd and Mugatu, they got a thing going on. They're like doing, because you remember after that happened, they had like some sexual tension.
Going on.
Love that song. Yes.
They do have some great eye contact.
And so that's what Mugatsu's such an interesting character. It looks exactly like his poodle. Will Ferrell is acting up a storm with this ridiculous character yet again.
Yeah, I like when Will Ferrell goes crazy. Alan, you have
What?
some trivia for us as well?
I got you, man.
Why did you stop there?
So
Okay.
I guess I don't know if this is true. It's on IMDb, but the blue steel look.
Yes.
Apparently, Christine Taylor says that's how Ben Stiller looks when he's combing his hair in the mirror. I don't know if that's true. If someone just made that up. But...
No, I hope that's true, and it's going to be true in my mind. It's going to stay true in my mind.
I hope old man Ben Stiller still makes that face. Like, even after Zoolander and everything, he's still like combing his hair and being like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
I hope he's not jaded and like hates it or hates being referred to as Derek Zoolander.
I think he might be hate.
From everything we were talking about him,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
possible.
yeah. I think
Okay.
he wants to be referred to as Grandmaster Stiller.
You know, I believe it.
Honestly, I would call him that.
I think I wouldn't say that many syllables when referring to an individual. But Alan, more fun
Yeah,
facts.
here's the top one. So I guess there was that scene in the graveyard when they met that dude with the hand.
David
thing.
Duchovny.
Yeah, JP. I forgot his last
Hewitt.
name.
I think his last name is literally
it
JP
Hewitt?
Hewlett.
Yeah. But anyways, like there was a line that was like, "By why male models?" And he says it twice.
Oh yeah.
Right? The second time, I guess it was like an ad lib by the actors because Ben Stiller forgot his line.
So he repeated
He
it.
repeated it, and then David Duchovny like knew it and just went with it.
said-
Like so that was like not on the script. Like
That part was so
so
funny.
they kept it in. They kept it in.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
ad-libbed.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
keep them coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I this movie makes me want to be a model.
Really?
No.
Like,
I was giving Alan time to vamp.
dim-witted.
You're dim-witted.
I said you would be really
Oh.
dim-witted.
I like how, like, if I'm not a model now, I'm smart, and then as soon as I make the decision, it's like, well, now you're dim-witted.
Hey, if all you're thinking about is your own vanity and the way you look and narcissism, I mean, you're gonna get stuck.
That is all I
This
think
one's
about.
kind of interesting. So Mila Jovovich,
Yes.
she played Katinka, right?
Yes.
So apparently that performance was based on her mother.
That's incredible.
Again, like I don't know if these are true. This is just what I see. On
Yeah,
the
no,
internet.
that's-
I
I-
want to believe all of these.
I do have one fun fact that I learned right before we started recording.
What?
That blew all three of our minds. The masseuse at the day spa that he's at with the warts and the big face. That's Andy Dick.
That masseuse,
crazy.
that's crazy that's Andy Dick.
I even watching this again today, I was gonna like, oh, I have to remember to go check and see who that masseuse was because it's such a weird looking person.
Looking at that masseuse made me so
Horny.
unhungry.
Oh.
I was hungry because I didn't have breakfast when I was watching this earlier this morning, and I watched it and I didn't eat for another 2 hours
because you were disgusted.
because that girl is so Andy Dick in that makeup is so,
So
ugly.
ugly. Huge badunk.
And trying to
Karate chop the
Oh
penis.
my God.
The penis fighting back. Honestly, you know that scene was written of just like, wouldn't it be funny if like you're at a masseuse and you get a boner and then like that's going into Zoolander.
oh yeah, it's not the most outlandish thing in the movie.
No,
What
but
else?
it is,
Alan?
that is one of my favorite jokes though.
Great,
The
so
masseuse
funny.
penis.
Oh, and Christine
Because
Taylor.
the dick's also out to here.
It's
like
so
when he first flips
fi-
over, it's a 40-inch dick.
It's so far high
Yeah.
up, and then Matilda's just looking, and like I don't know if she was like turned on by it because
Trying to hit it
so
with the
odd.
feather duster.
Okay, what else?
The orgy scene. Mm-hmm. So right after they drank tea and all that, whatever, if that was tea.
The peyote.
Yes. So apparently it was originally longer, but they had to make it PG-13, so they shortened it.
Because all it was, they were just kissing shoulders,
Yeah.
and the camera was just
There's
rotating
like
around
random
them.
people in that.
I
scene.
loved it. One of the Finnish dwarves was in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes.
then the scene ends with a close up to Owen Wilson's Sherpa, the Asian guy.
Yeah.
that looks like Benedict Wong.
the Sherpa who probably got him that tea.
Yes.
I think this movie would have been a tentpole in comedy if they would have been able to go with a hard R. Like if
Yeah.
they could just make it over the top, super silly, put some tits in there, have them smoke drugs. Let's do it. Let's go R. Say fuck.
Or I mean,
Or go G-rated.
Is it just
a G-rated Zoolander?
Not
I would
G-rated.
also want to see a G. Oh, sorry.
No, I think it's kind of perfect the way it is. Like, it's the whole. It's the whole Bill Cosby thing separated from like everything that he's done, but the whole Bill Cosby thing of being funny without saying a cuss word.
Nice.
That there is a level of skill
Yes.
that where you don't have to be raunchy, dirty, or say shock value isn't the only type of value. They don't have to go that far with
Yeah.
the PG-13 was fine, but I'm curious. Maybe rated R would have given them
A
more
rated R
opportunity.
Zoolander, I think would be funny. I think in 2001 rated R comedies weren't a thing.
were not a thing.
I don't think so. Can you name a rated R comedy from 2001?
Not another teen movie.
Well, I was just going to say that's not like an over-the-top parody that's made for teens who can't get porn.
No, that was the thing.
Because now there are R-rated comedies that are like good tentpole The Hangover is an R-rated comedy that is a solid comedy, period.
3 years later, Girl Next Door was a 2004 comedy that a lot of people love.
I don't know if I consider Girl Next Door a comedy. We've talked about this on our episode.
Oh, God.
I think it's actually like one of the saddest dramas ever.
I don't want to talk to you about it. Okay.
Do you have a Best Person on Set award, Christian?
It's going to go to Owen Wilson for me.
I really enjoyed all of them.
I mean, I'm giving it to Jerry Stiller. Rest in peace. Yes, for you, Jerry. I thought you were hilarious on King of Queens. I thought you were really funny on Seinfeld.
Yep.
And I think you're even funnier in heaven. Actually, he's in Jew heaven.
Shout out Maury Ballstein.
Maury Ballstein.
Maury Ballstein.
Balls Models.
Balls Models
is the name of his agency.
So good. What else are we missing? I know we're missing a lot just because there's so many memorable, iconic scenes in this film that I want to talk about before we sign off.
Yeah. So there was like this whole thing, like they were talking about when the hand model guy.
Yes.
He was talking about like the history of like how fashion was always like had to go into like politics. Like it always had to do with politics for the last 200 years.
Because of the hands.
Yes.
Yeah, and like he was supposed to like assassinate Jimmy Carter or some shit.
Yep.
Like that was insane, man.
I love the fact that the guy who assassinated Abraham Lincoln was a model.
James Marsden.
James
Marsden does the blue steel.
John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah,
John Wilkes Booth as James Marsden as John Wilkes Booth doing blue steel in black and white film for 2 seconds.
I always really wanted to be a hand model. I always thought I had fairly good looking hands. I have a decent vein structure. But when I stopped wanting to be a hand model was I think episode 13 that we did when you called out my crooked knuckles.
Yeah, you have a crooked finger. You have 2 crooked fingers. They're crooked.
But that being said, like I have good like a watch. If there's any like watch models out there, this is a good wrist for watches.
You could
maybe
do
not that one because
closed
it's
fist
padded,
gigs.
but maybe that one. No, I think I have I think I could show good rings, right? Like I think I just want to take this moment to tell you that I would be a great hand model.
Hey man, it's not my choice.
I guess you're right. I shouldn't.
Observation.
It's
dude.
just you hurt my. It's just you said that I wouldn't be a good hand, and I took it to heart. But the truth of the matter is, you don't know hand models.
Yeah, and you don't know fat people from the Philippines, so why call me a fat person from the Philippines?
But I know one.
Not me.
Hey,
Fuck you.
How
What's
do
up?
you guys feel about this? So I'm reading this right now. It says the part of Mugatu was originally written for Andy Dick, who couldn't play it due to commitments to Go Fish in 2001. So how would you feel about it? I feel like it
wouldn't be the same.
wouldn't be
It's a
the same.
whole different Mugatu.
Yeah.
Andy Dick's Mugatu is just Andy Dick, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've never seen Andy Dick
Yeah.
do a character. I only know Will
just
Ferrell by
kind
his
of himself,
characters.
yeah.
Yeah. Because the Andy Dick character is the character, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't like it. I might just be biased because I've seen Will Ferrell in this role so many times
He
over
does
and over
it really,
and over again.
really good.
Let's say if I had watched this only once right after it came out in theaters, I might be a little more open-minded to it. But since I've already set in stone in my mind that Mugatu is Will Ferrell, Mugatu's Will Ferrell.
There you go.
Okay. Dude, this movie was crazy.
It's an incredible film. Maybe we should watch the second one.
I want to watch the second one. I don't think it's going to tarnish my love for this first one.
I don't think we'll waste an episode on it. We might do an episode on it once we run out of films. But
Yeah.
I want to watch it just to see how they make it connect.
Yeah, what is the storyline?
Anytime
What
you-
is their performance like?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just you and I, we have lower thresholds for movies because we're doing this podcast. So maybe people are just being overcritical because sequels in general,
Aren't good.
you're not being introduced with characters. Usually it's just a recycling of the plot, of the jokes. It's supposed to just be, hey, remember this joke from the first one? Let's bring it back. It's supposed to be like,
The Hangover 2.
yeah, it's just, to bring back your characters in a similar but different situation.
I was trying to wait until the end. I have to pee. I'm so sorry. We were so fucking close. I have a small bladder.
Okay, I'm going to talk to Alan.
Christian, let me ask you this question, and Alex will probably answer this when he gets back. But
What's up?
who would win in a fight?
Between
Ben Stiller or Adam Sandler?
Ben Stiller or Adam Sandler? Okay. In terms of what? Like just like physical features? Or like comedic?
Let's say comedic, because that's just their...
That's so hard.
No, man, that's why...
I don't know. I think I'm going to say I'm gonna say Ben Stiller. Oh, do I want to? It's
you
hard.
don't have to
because
but-
Adam Sandler just, how he just makes a bunch of movies just for whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And Ben Stiller, I think, is more picky about the movies that he
Got it.
puts
Yeah.
out. I think Ben Stiller.
Okay.
Okay, how about you?
It's pretty even. I feel.
Pretty even for you?
Yeah, like I do like what you said though. Like it's very specific for Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
But Adam Sandler is kind of more.
But
I choose the Ben Stiller route with it.
yeah. Except I want to see Ben Stiller act up a storm that is equivalent to Uncut Gems, because now I understand Adam Sandler's versatility.
Diversity.
Yeah,
in
as
that
an actor.
Has Ben
direction,
Stiller ever done a intense drama?
I don't
Not that I know of.
Yeah, not that I could think of. And if it's not coming up to the forefront of my mind, then
Yeah.
probably
Because
wasn't.
even Jim Carrey, he did that movie Seven, and he did that
Yeah.
other movie we watched that was super intense.
23. He
That
did
Polish film.
Yeah.
Oh, he did that. I forget what that was called, but yeah, he did that Polish film. Yeah.
So it's interesting when comedians who we only know as big characters and big jokey kind of guys do really intense things. I wouldn't mind seeing Ben Stiller try it. I don't know if I'd want to see Ben Stiller in Uncut Gems particularly.
No, I can't imagine him.
Walter Mitty's kind of not funny.
I'd have to check it out again, but it's, it
It's
wasn't.
still Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all I have to say. Alan, is there anything else you want to say? Thank you so
No, I
much
think
for
that's-
producing.
Of course, man.
Dude, really
Second
appreciate
anniversary,
it.
man. I'm always here, dude.
Aw,
Hopefully, I'm
thanks.
here more often.
Hey, dude,
well, you know where we
whenever
are. Yeah.
man.
you are available.
We literally
course.
do this in the same place at the same time almost every week.
Almost
course,
every week.
of course.
Sometimes on Wednesdays, depending on what we got going on, but it'll, for the near future, it's going to be Thursdays.
Just don't tell them. Don't tell them.
Oh, yeah.
Magic. We filmed this the day before it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Happy 2-year anniversary to us.
Happy 2-year anniversary, Christian. Congratulations. Thank you so much for making my dreams come true.
Yes,
I
of
hope
course,
I
and
am.
vice versa.
I hope I can make you as proud as you make me.
Dude, you do make me very proud. You do make me very proud, and I would rather not do this with anyone else in
Yeah.
the world.
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Like I said, I wouldn't have. I've always said I wouldn't have this without you, buddy. So,
Yeah.
Alan, thank you so much.
course,
Baddies,
man.
thank you so much. You guys know the shtick. Check us out on icbtb.com, at icbtb podcast on Instagram and all of those social medias, at Christian Has Asthma, at call_me Jesus.
At Alan C. Boo.
He doesn't even know it.
Yeah, I don't even. I'm not on social
But you know what, guys? Thank you so much. Check out our merch. We are going to do special 2-year anniversary buttons for all of the orders in the next couple of months. So you'll get some buttons with those.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. You really are making us so incredibly happy. So thank you.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, 100 years, my friends. 100 years.
We got 98 more to go.
98 more years to go.
Can't be that bad, oh.